Hi, it's Lou from Christian Faith and Fiction. Today I'm going to share with you the new Christian fiction books that I can find that are releasing in October 2025. These are books that have been listed on Amazon as either mostly Christian fiction, sometimes religious fiction. They are by publishers that normally publish Christian fiction. However, I haven't read any of these books, so I can't tell you what the content will be like, whether they're any good or not, or if there might be something that's not appropriate or not. I can't tell you that. I'm just going to read out the descriptions of the books that the publishers have given us and show you, if you're watching on YouTube, the covers. If you're listening to the podcast, you can look at the blog post and see the covers there. I grouped them into different genres so that you can find the books that you're most interested in listening to. If you know of any other books that are coming out in that month that are definitely Christian fiction, please do leave them down in the comments and have a think about which books of these books you would most like to read in the future, and let me know that too as we're going through. In Mystery and Suspense, Out of Time by Irene Hannon releases on the 7th of October and is published by Ravel. For historical anthropologist Kara Tucker, the chance to spend a sabbatical semester on a remote country estate with full access to its vast library and centuries-old journals is a dream come true, until a series of strange incidents begin to turn her dream into a nightmare. Someone, it seems, does not want anyone diving into the past and unearthing old ghosts. Sheriff Brad Adams has seen his share of suspicious activities during his law enforcement career, but what's happening at the isolated estate is out of pattern in his quiet, rural Missouri county. Beset by danger, Kara and Brad work together to try to untangle the clues, but when the peril turns lethal, the situation takes on a new urgency, and their mission is clear: find out who is behind the string of menacing incidents before the perpetrator strikes another deadly blow. Rescued Dreams by Lisa Phillips releases on the 14th of October and is published by Sunrise Publishing. She must confront her haunting past to protect her future and the man she loves. Truck Lieutenant Amelia Patterson hasn't told anyone about her past in Benson, or the fact her vindictive ex never gave her the necessary paperwork for her rank. Rescue Squad firefighter Ridge Foster, recently promoted to lieutenant, is eager to leave East Side Firehouse and his unspoken feelings for Amelia behind. When Amelia's secret comes to light and she is forced to step down, Ridge takes her spot as the leader on the truck until she can produce the paperwork, but with an old enemy sabotaging her professional and private life in search of hidden payouts from her father, Amelia's past threatens to destroy everything she holds dear. Determined to keep her Firehouse family safe, Amelia must decide whether to trust them with the truth or face her demons alone. As the danger escalates, Amelia and Ridge are forced to confront their feelings for each other while racing against time to uncover the truth and protect their future. The Bells Toll at Traeger Hall by Jaime Jo Wright releases on the 21st of October and is published by Bethany House. In 1890, the ominous tolling of a bell announces that death has come to Traeger Hall, leaving orphaned Waverly Pembroke to piece together the puzzle behind her uncle and aunt's murders. Bound by the terms of her uncle's eccentric will, Waverly finds herself alone in a manor shrouded by death and questioning her uncle's paranoid motivations. A madness hovers over Traeger Hall, and Waverly, as well as the people of nearby Newton Creek, are all ill-prepared for the woe that has descended on the property. In present-day Newton Creek, the whispers of a curse still cling to the century-old time capsule of Traeger Hall. When Jenny Phillips takes possession of the estate after the death of her parents, she is intent on solving the century-old mystery of the Traeger murders, yet a modern cold case suggests that untimely deaths and mysterious occurrences still form the cornerstone of the manor, and as thorny truths surface, Jenny realizes the dark legacy threatens not only the town and the Traeger descendants, but also, chillingly, Jenny herself. Dark Design by Nancy Mehl releases on the 21st of October and is published by Bethany House. When Erin Delaney learns that a serial killer has mimicked the murder portrayed in her best-selling novel, her career as an author takes a detrimental turn.
She joins her friend Kaylee Quinn Hunter, a former FBI profiler, to help identify a suspect, but the team is stumped and Kaylee fears for Erin's safety as they work to dismantle a web of fear and chaos. On top of tracking down a murderer, Erin must shoulder the weight of a haunted past and the claims that she stole the plot of her novel from one of her sources. But as the enemy looms closer than ever, Erin's life hangs in the balance. Missing at Christmas by Deena Alexander releases on the 28th of October and is published by Love Inspired Suspense. A Dangerous Family Legacy, a race to save a baby in jeopardy. When journalist Lexi McKenna receives a desperate call for help, she rushes to her sister's home, only to find her sister dead and one of her twin nieces missing. With her past mafia ties resurfacing, Lexi must go on the run with agent Noah Thompson to protect herself from her father's enemies. Although Lexi is the daughter of the mob boss who murdered Noah's brother, Noah will do anything to take down her family, even work with her. As danger looms from all sides, they must find the abducted baby and dismantle a criminal empire before Lexi and her nieces end up as collateral damage. Kidnapped for Ransom by Jacqueline Adam releases on the 28th of October and is published by Love Inspired Suspense. Abduction is only the beginning. Will murder be next? Dr. Chelsea Eidman thought she'd finally escaped the perils of her late husband's secret life as a diamond thief, until his former accomplice attacks her. The danger escalates when a vengeful mobster kidnaps Chelsea's daughter and friend, demanding the stolen diamonds in exchange for their lives. To recover the gems, Chelsea joins forces with officer Matt Reynolds, whose sister has also been abducted. As they race against time, they find themselves in deadly pursuits across harsh terrain. With everything on the line, Chelsea and Matt must outsmart their enemies and unravel a web of lies before their families pay the ultimate price. Christmas Rodeo Killer by Sami A. Abrams releases on the 28th of October and is published by Love Inspired Suspense. To catch a murderer, he'll make himself a target. After 4 suspicious deaths on the local rodeo circuit, rodeo bull rider turned FBI agent Cooper Sinclair returns to the arena undercover and is nearly killed on his first ride. Rescued by his former love, private investigator Grace Harrison, Cooper learns she is also looking into the murders and believes he's the next target. With more innocent lives on the line, Cooper must join forces with the women who gave up their baby for adoption. And when the deadly attacks zero in on Grace, can Cooper keep her alive long enough to bring a killer to justice and reveal his own shocking secret? Texas Christmas Cover-Up by Terri Reid releases on the 28th of October and is published by Love Inspired Suspense. A hunt for the truth could be deadly. When widowed FBI agent Kara Evans returns to sell her late mother's home, eager to shed reminders of her tragic past, she's assaulted by a masked attacker. With the house ransacked and a daughter to protect, Kara must turn to her former love, Police Chief Jeremy Hamilton, to track down her assailant. But when the trail of clues leads to unanswered questions about her father's cold case murder, it's clear that someone is determined to keep Kara from uncovering the truth. As a string of new murders unfolds, can they expose this deadly plot before Kara is silenced forever? Final Showdown by Valerie Hansen releases on the 28th of October and is published by Love Inspired Suspense. The suspect list is growing. Can this canine team unmask a killer? Investigating a gun smuggling ring leads ATF Special Agent Daniel Slater to a murder victim's house and right into a drive-by shooting. With his canine partner Dakota, he helps save crime scene investigator Aurora Martin from flying bullets, but there are no clues as to why Aurora is a target. Suspecting a case of mistaken identity, Daniel insists she will be safe hiding out in his home until gunmen infiltrate the property. Now, to protect Aurora, Daniel must hunt down their attacker, but can he catch the culprit in time, or will this case be Aurora's last? Last Chance Christmas by Lisa Phillips, Michelle Sass Aleckson and Laura Conaway releases on the 28th of October and is published by Sunrise Publishing. This Christmas, love is the greatest rescue of all. Christmas was supposed to be peaceful in Last Chance County until escaped killers turned their winter wonderland into a deadly hunting ground. When a catastrophic blizzard causes a prison transport crash, hardened criminals scatter into the frozen wilderness. With roads impassable and temperatures plummeting, Last Chance County's bravest first responders must abandon their holiday plans for the most dangerous manhunt of their lives. But in the heart of winter's fury, love is the light in the storm. Firefighter Izan Collins has waited months to win guarded cop Olivia Tazwell's heart, but when a cartel killer targets his family during a church event, their first date becomes a fight for survival. Officer Anthony Thomas never believed in Christmas magic until protecting fierce firefighter Della Nixon from a vengeful serial killer shows him that some gifts are worth any sacrifice. Canine Officer Cole Stewart has hunted his nemesis for 2 years, but partnering with determined EMT Kiana Russell in a deadly mountain pursuit teaches him that some battles are meant to be fought together. 3 couples, 3 heart-stopping chases through winter's deadliest storm, 3 Christmas miracles that prove love conquers all. In historical fiction, The Daughter of Shiloh by Terri J. Haynes releases on the 1st of October and is published by Barber Fiction. Lacy Bavard, a determined Tuskegee Institute student, attends the Shiloh Baptist Church Convention in Birmingham on September 19, 1902, to request a scholarship for continued education at Harvard, but a beautiful gathering turns tragic when a stampede breaks out and Lacy is injured. While convalescing at the home of fellow Tuskegee student Milton Rafferty, Lacy's concerns for her future are set aside to help Milton uncover a mystery revolving around missing church funds and a possible murder. Perhaps a pause in Lacy's well-laid plans can be used for good and lead to love. Riches Beyond Measure by Mary Connealy releases on the 7th of October and is published by Bethany House. When an earthquake strikes Two Hearts Ranch, it shakes the life of Annie Lane along with Cord Westbrook, who has been working as a cowboy on Annie's family ranch in anticipation of purchasing his own. The only thing delaying his plan is the deep attraction he feels towards Annie, a widow with a child and an established life as a teacher at the Hart School for Orphans. Unfortunately for Cord, she seems determined to avoid romance. The aftermath of the earthquake reveals that prized artifacts from the long-sought Mackenzie treasure have been stolen from the ranch, but the return of the Mackenzie family to Two Hearts soon has everyone focused on what other precious finds might await at the end of the legendary 2-part map. As Cord, Annie and the Mackenzies set out in search of riches, they face dangers more perilous than earthquakes. With gold in their sights and love within reach, Cord and Annie realize that some treasures may fade, but true riches are far more valuable than earthly goods. Snowbound at Christmas by Wendy Klopfenstein, Wendy Galinetti, Traci Summeril and Lacy Williams releases on the 7th of October and is published by Sunrise Publishing. One Christmas snowstorm creates havoc for 3 couples who find themselves snowed in together, and a chance for new love to bloom and old feelings to be rekindled. Heart's Secret Haven. Livery owner Lily Murdoch would prefer to skip over Christmas entirely. She's given up on finding love. What kind of man wants a wife who spends her days tending to the stable who smells like a horse? When a snowstorm traps her with her childhood friend, old dreams come back to life. Rancher Jacob Anderson can't think of a worse punishment than being stuck inside the barn for days with the woman he once loved and never forgot. As he spends more time with Lily, he realizes the feelings he thought he'd gotten over are just as strong as ever. Her gingerbread refuge. Widowed bakery owner Caroline Wilson has one goal: to give her children a perfect Christmas. When a stranger and his young sister blow into her small-town bakery in the middle of a blizzard, she finds all her careful plans upended, and finds herself drawn to the driven businessman. Jerome Barnett doesn't know what to do with a younger sister, one he didn't even know existed until a letter arrived. It's Caroline that helps them connect, and Caroline that begins to melt his guarded heart. Her Yuletide protector, Heiress Lizzie Hamilton is on a desperate quest to escape an arranged marriage and finds herself trapped on a snowed-in train and mistaken for a common thief. She can't trust anyone, not even the deputy with shadowed eyes and a vulnerability beneath his hard exterior. Deputy Slate Jackson sees everything in black and white, but Lizzie is a conundrum, kind to small children, afraid of every noise, a sadness she can't seem to shake. Is she really a thief, or is she hiding a different kind of secret? When the snow begins to melt and the danger chasing Lizzie draws close, Slate must decide whether he can trust Lizzie and his own heart. The Heart of Bennett Hollow by Joanne Biscoff DeWitt releases on the 7th of October and is published by Tyndale Fiction. New River, Virginia, 1904. Lisbeth Bennett longs to preserve her family's farm, securing a future for her and her sisters, a difficult task in their Appalachian coal mining town. Money is scarce, and Lisbeth is determined to find a way without giving up treasured pieces of her family's legacy. But when the mine is put up for sale, it's clear change is approaching. A contingent of coal barons descends on the town to investigate whether the mine is worth their investment, among them a young man rumoured to be a very rich, eligible bachelor. William Drake arrives focused on business and keeping his distance from the townspeople, especially those living on land entangled with the mine, including a farmer by the name of Bennett. As William digs through legal issues, his struggle to weigh the potential financial gain against what is right for the community grows more complicated when he meets one of the Bennett daughters. Despite an awkward first meeting, Lisbeth and William continue to cross paths, and soon Lisbeth questions her first impression of the man she believed to be proud and indifferent. But just as their friendship begins to evolve, a revelation shakes Lisbeth's tenuous trust, and she learns all may not be as it seems. To determine what is true and step towards a love she's barely dared dream of, Lisbeth must confront her own prejudices and decide whether the future she's always imagined is the one her heart truly wants most after all. The Christmas Book Flood by Rosanna M. White releases on the 7th of October and is published by Tyndale Fiction. Anders Johansson is an editor who shares Tatiana's love for stories. While he wishes to know her better, he's never dared pursue more than friendship. They are first and foremost colleagues, but when Tatiana's attempts to cheer Elia fail, Tatiana recruits him to help, a plea he can't refuse. He is, after all, not only an editor, but a beloved children's book author and devoted uncle to his adoring nieces and nephews. As the two creatively bring Icelandic Christmas traditions to life for Elia and frantically work to meet the demands of the publisher's holiday rush, Tatiana finds herself increasingly drawn to kind and thoughtful Anders, but if a love is to grow between them, she will need to reveal her closely held secret. She is the mysterious author of a popular new novel, and Anders is her editor. Sense and Suitability by Pepper Basham releases on the 14th of October and is published by Thomas Nelson. After 2 failed social seasons, her family may think the 3rd time will be a charm, but Emmeline Lockhart just wants to survive with her dignity and singleness intact. She thought she found her perfect match in Simon Reeves, charming, handsome, a veritable hero from a novel, until he vanished from her life without so much as a farewell or my deepest regrets, or even a vague apology scribbled on the back of a calling card. Lesson: never fall for a man known for his charm. Fortunately, and unlike many of the other eligible young ladies of the ton, Emmeline has no need for a husband, because she's already found success in her scandalous and very anonymous profession as an author. Why bother with matrimony when she can make her own fortune and write men exactly the way she wants them? But fate, or the misfortune of Simon's reckless patriarchs, has other plans. Simon's once proud estate is in shambles, his family fortune has been gambled away, and the younger, impressionable siblings in his care are running wild across his estate, and possibly across all of England. Simon is in desperate need of a wealthy, prestigious bride, and a friend. Emmeline may not fit the role of heiress, but she can certainly be a friend, just a friend. She'll help him find a suitable match, ensure his reputation remains intact, and keep things strictly platonic, no matter how dangerously appealing his new and improved sincerity and regret may be. There's just one small thing, the undeniable chemistry that still smoulders between them. Can play matchmaker for the man she's still in love with without losing her heart all over again? And is it possible that some love stories, especially the messy, inconvenient, impossible ones, are worthy of a rewrite? A Moment to Love by Traci Peterson releases on the 21st of October and is published by Bethany House. Dr. Carrie Vogel's heart is shattered when her groundbreaking medical research is stolen and falsely credited to her ex-fiancé. With years of diligent work lost, she grapples with the disastrous turn of her career and leans on her faith for strength. When she learns that her Pinkerton friend Spencer Duval is on a justice-driven mission to her hometown of Cheyenne, she agrees to an arranged marriage to provide him with a cover story, but merely pretending to be in love with Spencer becomes increasingly difficult the more time she spends with him. Spencer is determined to apprehend the ruthless murderer who killed his father years ago, but his quest ignites unexpected emotions, both for Carrie and about the desire for revenge that has dominated his life. As the web of suspects tightens, Carrie and Spencer's future hang in the balance, and they must learn to trust God's plan as unexpected love takes flight. Echoes of a Silent Song by Amanda Wen releases on the 21st of October and is published by Craigle Publications. This is a split-time romance. When a choral composer and conductor falls victim to creative block, he resorts to his fallback plan of teaching high school choir. Callum Knight's goal at Peterson High is to rediscover his muse, extract himself from teaching, and get back to Boston as quickly as possible. As the long-suffering accompanist at the high school, Peterson native Blair Emerson has watched the revolving door of choir directors and their negative impact on her choirs over the last few years. She is less than impressed when a dishevelled Callum stumbles in on his first day. But when they discover an unsigned, unfinished, and handwritten choral composition by a clear musical genius, Blair recalls rumours of Iris, a Peterson student from 1970s who composed music but was found dead during her senior year. Blair and Callum work to determine if the piece is hers, and the truth they uncover shakes both of them to the core. In biblical fiction, Rescued Heart by Angela Hunt releases on the 7th of October and is published by Bethany House. In Ur of the Chaldees, Ishka faces the daunting prospect of marrying Abrams, a man she has never once met in her 39 years, and a man who renames her Sarai on their wedding day. Their union, arranged since childhood, tests her as she grapples with uncertainty about her future and Abraham's true nature, including his devotion to an unseen God, entirely unlike the idols she has worshipped all her life. When Abram reveals that Adonai has directed them to leave the family, Sarai chooses to place her trust in him and to follow his God, even though she is unsure of Adonai's promise and to make them a great nation. As the years pass without a child, Sarai wrestles with doubt and faith within her marriage. Her skepticism that Abrams and her descendants will outnumber the stars grows with time, and only a miracle can prove Adonai's faithfulness to his word. In contemporary romance, The Second Story Bookshop by Denise Hunter releases on the 7th of October and is published by Thomas Nelson. She inherits the bookshop of her dreams, but she has to run it with the ex she vowed never to speak to again. Shelby Thatcher adores working in the charming small-town bookshop her grandmother opened years ago. Since high school, she's helped Gram turn the shop into a community hub for book lovers in the lakeside town of Granville, NC. When her beloved grandma passes away, Shelby inherits the bookstore, but to her shock, Gram leaves half ownership to Gray Briggs, the man who broke Shelby's heart years ago. Granville residents have been vilifying Gray as long as he can remember. After graduating high school, he couldn't skip town fast enough, even though it meant leaving the girl he'd fallen deeply in love with and alienating her family once and for all. Now he's back, the beneficiary of his elderly friend's will. Facing the town's animosity is difficult, but seeing Shelby again is sheer torture. No one could ever stir his heart the way she did. As the adversaries are forced to work together, Gram's Beyond the Grey scheme is working. Shelby's old feelings for Gray begin to resurface, but the problems that destroyed their relationship before still remain, and a new one surfaces, one that threatens Gram's beloved bookshop. Is their love doomed to fail again, or will they find a way to make it work this time around? Under the Mistletoe by Susan May Warren and with Terri Farris releases on the 21st of October and is published by Sunrise Publishing. Sometimes the best Christmas gifts come wrapped in second chances. Social worker Devin Hendrickson pours her heart into running Heritage's foster care support program, organising magical Christmas events for families while trying to ignore her own abandoned heart. When her program faces shutdown, she'll need a Christmas miracle and maybe the help of the one man who once broke her heart. Logan Kinsley, the best-selling author behind the pseudonym Victor Holt, hides away in his cabin fighting writer's block and his forbidden feelings for Devon. But when 3 foster siblings capture his heart, he realizes he might be ready for more than just writing happy endings. As Devon races to save her program and Logan struggles to finish his book, they discover they need each other, at least for the season. With 3 children's futures hanging in the balance, they must decide if they're brave enough to risk their hearts again. If they fail, it's not just Logan's career or Devon's program at stake. It's the chance at the family they never knew they wanted. The Christmas Ring by Karen Kingsbury releases on the 21st of October and is published by Thomas Nelson. While searching for her family's missing Christmas ring, a military widow sparks a friendship with a handsome antique dealer who just might have the love and the lost heirloom she's been longing for. Vanessa Mayfield's great-grandfather discovered a beautiful gold and ruby ring buried in the dirt at Normandy on D-Day. It gave him hope when all hope seemed lost and came to be known as the Christmas ring, as it was passed down through the generations of their family. Years ago, though, Vanessa lost the ring shortly after becoming a military widow herself and has scoured antique stores ever since, hoping someone found it. After dropping her daughter, Sadie, off for college, the Christmas in July sale sign she sees passing through Marietta seems the perfect distraction before returning to her now empty house. She doesn't find the ring, but she does find something completely unexpected. The co-owner of the store, Ben Miller, makes her smile in a way she hasn't since losing her husband. Their friendship blossoms throughout the fall, and as Christmas nears, it's clear that something more is developing. Unbeknownst to either of them, Ben's father, Howard, has purchased a box of antiques that happens to include Vanessa's missing heirloom Christmas ring. A ring secretly worth 5 figures and filled with a lifetime of Vanessa's memories. Ben's father has no idea the importance of the heirloom. He just knows it is by far the most valuable piece he will ever have sold, and he's making plans to sell it so he can finally travel the world. It is his Christmas diamond in the rough. As Vanessa works to pull off her annual Columbus Cares Christmas military dance, she's eager for Sadie to return home from college, but she hasn't told Sadie about Ben. Every time she tries, something stops them. But with Ben in town to help with the final preparations for the dance, she can no longer put it off. When Ben learns the truth about his father's newfound treasure, he fears it will become a wedge that drives them completely apart. Can he convince his father to stop the sale of Vanessa's precious heirloom, or this Christmas will love become the actual diamond in the rough? Lost Alaskan Memories by Heidi McCahan releases on the 28th of October and is published by Love Inspired. An unexpected homecoming brings another chance at love. For 2 years, mountaineer Max Butler was presumed dead after a tragic climbing accident in Peru, until his return to his small town of Opportunity, Alaska. But now a traumatic brain injury keeps him from remembering his former life and who he left behind, including physical therapist Haley Morgan. Heartbroken after Max chose his mountaineering dreams over her, Haley is determined to guard her heart against him, even as he steps in to help her with babysitting duties for his infant sister. As Max slowly regains fragments of his past and buried feelings resurface, can Haley convince him to stay for a second chance at happiness? The Rancher's Mistletoe Baby by Jill Camara releases on the 28th of October and is published by Love Inspired. A sweet holiday surprise could help him make peace with the past. Brody Hudson is ready for a fresh start after inheriting Hudson Ranch Incorporated, and the last thing he expects to find is his ex-girlfriend's best friend on his front porch with a baby. Lillian Splendor desperately needs help when she's appointed guardian of her late friend's child, and though seeing Lillian reminds him of his former love's abrupt abandonment years ago, Brody agrees to take them in until she gets back on her feet. As Christmas approaches, Brody begins to see Lillian in a different light. Can they confront the past and open their hearts to a love they never expected? An Unexpected Christmas Helper by Lee Tobin McLean releases on the 28th of October and is published by Love Inspired. Sometimes forgiveness is the best present. After discovering he has a toddler daughter, engineer Evan Ducasse needs all the help he can get, even if it comes from Vanessa Johnson, the woman who once crushed his heart. With financial worries mounting and Christmas just around the corner, the single mum agrees to be little Lily's temporary nanny and vows not to let working for Evan derail her recovery from an eating disorder. With her service dog Snickers at her side, Vanessa is on the path to healing, and soon old feelings reawaken between her and Evan, but when buried secrets regarding Vanessa's son are revealed, they must decide if what they have is worth fighting for. Her Pretend Holiday Beau by Susan Dietz releases on the 28th of October and is published by Love Inspired. Will a fake arrangement prove they're a perfect match? Faced with planning the town's Christmas nativity event, veterinarian Mick Larson turns to his childhood friend for some much-needed help, but florist Sadie Dalton requires something in a wedding date. It's the perfect solution to avoid her now-engaged ex and some well-meaning matchmakers. That is, until a kiss under some mistletoe results in a giant misunderstanding. Now they must pretend to be a real couple through the holidays, but as their friendship slowly blossoms into something more, can they keep up the charade when they start believing it themselves? In contemporary fiction, The Stories We Carry by Robin W. Pearson releases on the 7th of October and is published by Tyndale Fiction. Glory Pryor has carved out a life for herself in Gilmore, North Carolina, cultivating a community around her bookstore, By the Book. While her business is a success, she carries the weight of stories of her own she's never told anyone. She holds out hope that one day her estranged brother will turn up on her doorstep so she can finally learn where he's been all these years. Glory's husband Eli thinks she has her arms wrapped too tightly around the could-have-beens, and that it's time for them to let go of the store as they head into their retirement years. Glory has different opinions on that. She's not ready to give up the dream she's built just yet. Then Adele Simonette shows up with her young son Bennett, and Glory's carefully controlled life begins to crumble. Newly widowed Adele Simonette is a single mother trying to find her footing and navigate parenting her young son. Lost in her grief, one thing she's certain of is that she needs to confront Glory Pryor and everybody who knows her, because the woman's been living a lie. Adele thinks it's high time Glory made things right, but Adele's finding it hard to tell the truth, and there will be no going back once she does. In the wake of deeply personal grief and loss, two women reckon with a lifetime of silence and secrets to find a path forward towards healing, hope, and restoration. In fantasy and sci-fi, Singularity by Shannon McDermott releases on the 7th of October and is published by Enclave. This is book 2 in the Eternities series. So this is the description to book 1, The Time Door. A reckless last mission on Mars, a crusade for justice on Earth. Reuben Jackson is the only one who still cares about Mars. In the shambles of the Great Collapse, Earth has abandoned the Mars explorers to their fate, but Reuben will make a stand for the Mars team, even against the powerfully united politicians and scientists. In too deep, he discovers hidden conspiracies and unexpected allies. As the conflict mounts on Earth, time runs down on Mars. Left to face Mars alone, Commander Donegan Moynihan and his team have no hope of surviving after their supplies are gone. Willing to accept a quicker death than starvation, the explorers strike out on a dangerous mission. They venture deep inside the ancient volcano of Arcia Mons, into perils and secrets long buried. What they discover would move mountains on Earth, but will it be enough to save themselves? Glass Across the Sea by Sarah Eller releases on the 21st of October and is published by Enclave Escape. This is Realms of Alumeria Book 1. Light always finds a way to break free. Noelle Perrault has felt drawn to the tales of her glassmaker father, told of the 4 firefly artisans since she was a child, but when her mother falls under a curse, Noelle suspects the stories are more than mere fables. Their last hope is for her father to embark on a desperate journey to another realm, where he must seek a miracle. Alone but not defenseless, Noelle is forced to navigate battles that rise against her beloved home, while her dearest friend, the prince, vows to help her father. Dante Marin is a prince prepared to bear the crown, but the king offers an ultimatum: find the fabled firefly vestiges believed to hold the lamplighter's ancient power, or forfeit the crown. Only then will Dante be considered worthy of his birthright and given the freedom to choose his bride. But how does one hunt down a legend? Connected by the past, but forced apart in the present, Noelle and Dante must discover the truth about the firefly and vestiges before they lose all hope and each other for good. But breaking a curse comes at a great sacrifice, one neither of them predicted. With a mysterious foe rising to power, will they survive, let alone succeed, or will darkness shroud their future, shattering the light they've striven to restore?
So those are all the books I have for you today. If you know of any more, let me know down in the comments, and let me know which ones you think you would be most likely want to read. It's always interesting to hear from you as to what books are grabbing your interest. If you would like to see any more videos about Christian fiction, you can watch these videos over here. Until next time, I pray God bless you and your families. Have a really great reading week. Until next time, bye.